Good morning, Colorado. You are listening to the Daily Sun Up. It's a conversation with the Colorado Sun. I'm team editor David Krause. Before we jump into today's conversation, here is a quick message from our sponsor.
Support comes from Credit Union of Colorado, proud to call Colorado home for more than 90 years. They are a local institution with a track record of showing up for the community and putting people first. Credit Union of Colorado. Honestly good. Learn more at honestlygood.org. Set the summer trend. Electrify your lawn equipment and help reduce harmful ground-level ozone in your Front Range community. Learn more at simplestepsbetterair.org. Got leftover paint taking up space? Recycle it with Paint Care. Paint Care makes it simple and easy for households and businesses to recycle their leftover paint responsibly. Drop it off for free at one of more than 200 sites across Colorado. To learn more, visit paintcare.org.
Now, back to the show.
I chose you for the one. Now we're having so much fun. You treated me so kind. I'm about to lose my mind. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life.
Welcome to our monthly Music Friday, listeners. I'm Kevin Simpson, writer and editor at the Colorado Sun. And as always, I'm joined by our good friend, G. Brown, director of the Colorado Music Experience at colomusic.org. Go-to place for everything you want to know about Colorado's rich musical history. How's life treating you, G?
Well, as someone once said, maybe it was Homer Simpson. Some days it's a donut, others it's just a hole.
Yeah, been there. Well, hey, gee, the Grammys have long since come and gone for 2026, but there's an enduring part of the music awards that never leaves Colorado, and his name is John Billings. You celebrate artists in a variety of ways at the Colorado Music Experience, and you share John's story in particular through yet another artist. Tell us what listeners can check out on your site.
Well, Colorado Music Experience has launched a series of biographic histories, but they're graphic novels, if you will, beautifully depicted and thoroughly researched, created by Scorpio Steele, an incredible professional illustrator. And he's illuminating the lives of some of Colorado music's most compelling figures. This month, it's John Billings who gets this graphics treatment. The Grammy Awards, of course, are the most prestigious prize in the music business. But whereas Oscar and Emmy statuettes are produced by huge high-end manufacturers back east somewhere, John and his small team handcraft the Grammy Awards in Ridgway, Colorado, our tiny little town in the foothills of the San Juan Mountains. Population 1,281 last time I checked.
Well, I found several things interesting looking at the graphic treatment that Scorpio Steele did. One was the really innovative look at how Billings actually builds a Grammy. You mentioned, it's not a big manufacturing process, but it's really interesting to hear how he does that. And another was what happened after Taylor Swift dropped one of the 4 stunt Grammys that she held at the 2010 ceremony and broke it. She wrote "Oops" on the broken statue and then autographed it for him.
Yeah,
So,
it's interesting. The stunt Grammys, just to clarify, that's what he makes for the awards ceremony. And then once the winners are announced, then he goes to handcrafting and engraving each individual award. So it was the stunt Grammy that Taylor dropped.
But also one of Billings' proudest moments, he says, was in 1991. He made a Lifetime Achievement Award for an artist and then was in the house when Jack Nicholson was the presenter who gave it to that artist, who was someone Billings had idolized since he was like 14 years old.
Yeah, John is a very sweet man, and it all fits into his philosophy about why he loves making the Grammys and continues to create them in Ridgeway. Uh, his quote is, "When you're lifting other people's lives, you're lifted along with them." And I know you know the performer that was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award he made, Kevin.
Well, what do you say we listen to the answer?
Okay.
Well, the winter time is coming. The windows are filled with frost. I went to tell everybody, but I could not get across. Well, I wanna be your lover, baby. I don't wanna be your boss. Don't say I never warned you.
Well, gee, we talked last month about how the Colorado Music Experience is now showcasing some of the music from KVCO's Studio C. So, of course, I had to check it out. And you added still more. What can you tell us about the new additions?
Yeah, we keep adding audio features to our repository of musical legacies, and these earliest KBCO Studio C tracks are pretty exciting for us. We presented 8 more tracks for the enjoyment of all, from Suzanne Vega, Edwin McCain, Lyle Lovett, Joan Osborne, and a couple of others.
Well, you had me at Suzanne Vega. I mean, is there a more heartbreakingly evocative song than Luca? And she said that she never thought the record company would like it, much less that it would become popular, especially given the subject matter, which, of course, is about a 9-year-old boy who we gradually figure out is being abused. But it really did strike a chord with a lot of people and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard charts. And, interestingly, she's noted that many people prefer a sort of stripped down performance rather than the more highly produced version that appeared on her album.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Studio C offered, a spare and intimate version of Luca.
My name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor. I live upstairs from you. Yes, I think you've seen me before. If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was.
Well, what about you, G? Is there a favorite that jumps out at you among the new Studio C tracks you've added?
Oh, I'll always have to go with Lyle Lovett. I'm a fan always and forever. One of the most genuine musicians and people I've ever met. I nicknamed him Politeness Man early on. Just wonderful, literate and eclectic, and a fellow journalism major in college, Kevin.
Oh, my God. I had no idea he ever considered becoming an ink-stained wretch like the rest of us. But I guess he chose the right career path. Well, let's give listeners a taste of Lyle's She's No Lady. I love this song, recorded at Studio C in 1996.
She hates my mama. She hates my daddy too. She loves to tell me she hates the things I do. She loves to lie beside me almost every night. Well, she's no lady, she's my wife. The preacher asked her, and she said, I do. The preacher asked me, and she said, yes, he does too. The preacher said, I pronounce you 99 to life. Son, she's no lady, she's your wife.
Well, gee, we lost another iconic performer recently in the great David Clayton Thomas, the lead singer, of course, for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You've written a fascinating piece, as you always do, at colmusic.org, Tell us about David and the band that is claimed, and honestly, this blew me away, over 165 different musicians since its inception. Fun fact, I did not know that the brilliant but troubled bass player, Jaco Pastorius, one of my faves, was part of the group at one point.
Yeah, he was early on. You know, David Clayton Thomas's distinctive voice, that kind of raspy, bluesy vehicle, was such an integral part of the Blood, Sweat, and Tears sound. So it's easy to forget that the band, they were 9 pieces at the beginning, noted for combining a brass section with rock instrumentation. But it began as an Al Cooper project, founded in New York City back in 1967. And then Blood, Sweat, and Tears didn't find commercial success until Al was out, and David Clayton Thomas, a Canadian singer, was in for the group's self-titled second album, which was produced by James William Guercio, who folks around here know about. It contained the group's signature tunes, And When I Die, and You've Made Me So Very Happy, and Spinning Wheel. Won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. And then the follow-up album, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, also reached #1 and spawned the hits Heidi Ho and Lucretia McEvil and Go Down Gamblin'. But from the very get-go, the band had a revolving door policy towards musicians. By the mid-'70s, the band had recorded 4 gold albums, sold tens of millions of copies, but its popularity began to decline, and David Clayton Thomas left for a solo career. His replacements never quite measured up, and so he returned to the band in the late 70s, and they recorded with an entirely new lineup in their brass-heavy style, and then he took a 5-year hiatus from show business, then rebuilt the band with a whole new generation of players, soliciting all the young classically trained musicians from the prestigious music schools on the East Coast. But since he didn't own the Blood, Sweat, and Tears name, they had to negotiate a licensing deal. And then for 20 years afterwards, he toured the concert circuit with Blood, Sweat, and Tears with a constantly changing roster of players until he finally departed back in 2006 and resided back in Canada. So yes, at last count, Blood, Sweat, and Tears has continued on without him, and more than 165 different musicians have been members of the band since its beginning.
Well, it's amazing. I remember that first album. I mean, you know how you remember buying it and putting it on the turntable and hearing it for the first time, and it was just so, so good.
It didn't sound like anything else that we had heard to that point with that brass instrumentation.
Absolutely, and his voice was just, so unique. And close listeners certainly picked up that for our intro music, we played You've Made Me So Very Happy. What would you like to play here?
Well, Spinning Wheel was one of Blood, Sweat, and Tears' biggest hits, but it's also tangentially part of our local lore here. There's a bit of a 19th century Austrian tune inserted. It sounds kind of like a calliope. The melody kind of, did you ever see a lassie? That
right,
one.
Right.
So according to James William Guercio, who was the producer, at the end of the master tape, things got recorded over accidentally by an engineer at the studio.
Oh, no.
The way Jim tells it, he was standing there and he saw the engineer reach for this button that was going to erase the track and tried to dive to stop him, grab his hand, and was basically tackled because it was a union studio and he wasn't allowed to touch the board. So he added that Austrian tune to salvage the song and vowed to open his own studio so he wouldn't have to be beholden to that kind of sketchy help again. And that's what brought him to Colorado in the early 70s to build Caribou Ranch, the legendary recording studio outside of Nederland.
That's amazing. I'd always wondered about that. That's such an odd ending to the song. And you knew there had to be a story behind it, and now I know what it is. So let's listen to that exact slice of music history.
Spinning true, drop all your troubles by the riverside. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel fly.
Well, gee, I'd love to send our listeners into the weekend on a positive note. And I've been told that you've come across a tune that might fill the bill here.
Well, it's my earworm for the summer. And here's the shocking part, Kevin. It's a song released in this century.
Oh, no, you got to be kidding. They're still making music in this century? I'm sorry.
This year, in fact. And I'm just a sucker for the perfect pop structure to my ears of Pink Lemon, a song by Elder Island, a British indie electronica trio. Just a little 3-minute sunshine soul groove about breaking out of a rut.
Well, that sounds like exactly what the doctor ordered for the summer doldrums. If only this group were coming to Colorado, you know?
Well, Kevin, heads up. They'll be performing at the Gothic Theater on September 29th.
Ah, great news. Great news. Well, gee, thanks as always for joining us.
I'll see you next month, Kevin. You know why you can't find any lions after August? Because the pride goeth before the fall.
Okay. All right. I was trying to end on a high note here, but okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, listeners, for spending part of your day with the Daily Sun Up. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening, and finally, here are a few stories that you should know about today.
Colorado's Western Slope congressional delegation wants to stop the Bureau of Land Management from approving a controversial gravel mine expansion above Glenwood Springs. Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd and Democratic U.S. Senators Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper are backing a federal bill that would block Rocky Mountain Industrials from growing the Mid-Continent limestone quarry. Several dozen members of the Sweetwater community in Garfield County are pushing back against a proposal to turn the area into a new state park. The group says a U.S. Forest Service proposal to transfer management of Sweetwater Lake to the state could result in the area becoming overdeveloped and losing its rustic charm. They argue it doesn't get enough visitors to justify proposed improvements. State officials say taxpayers could pay more than $250 million to cover firefighting and recovery for the state's 4 largest fires this summer. The estimate comes from a 90-day cost projection discussed Thursday at a drought task force meeting. Governor Jared Polis activated the task force in March to evaluate impacts from the state's historic drought.
To read these stories and much more, visit our website, coloradosun.com. As an award-winning nonprofit news outlet, we take our mission of credible, independent journalism seriously, and you can check out our trust indicators at coloradosun.com/ethics. Our music is by the Denver-based Matt Skellinger Group. A link to their music is in our show notes, and a special thanks to Swallow Hill Music. I'm David Krause. See you next time.